There's a process that you should get familiar with, and that's the satiation deprivation process, okay? And so satiation just means that, oh, we stop enjoying something the more that we have it, the more that we're exposed to it. Let's say that I had the biggest meal ever. Oh my God, I am so incredibly full. You go to a supermarket and hardly anything seems interesting to you. Why? Because you've sated on food. You've already eaten a lot, so no food has very much appeal to you at that moment in time. Deprivation is the opposite effect, okay? We start to enjoy something more, the less access, the less exposure we have to that thing. So you haven't eaten all day. Oh, your stomach's grumbling and you go to a supermarket, right? Everything starts to look good to you. Even things that you don't particularly like, things seem just more appealing to you. Like, oh, that looks really good, all right? And so that's the deprivation process at work, which is that, oh, things take on a more favorable quality as you're more deprived of that item. What makes the satiation deprivation process a little bit more complicated is that that process runs differently depending on each person that you're talking about. My wife, when she likes something, like she tries something new and she really likes it, she can have it morning, afternoon, night, the next day, and she can have it for a week or 2 weeks and just keep on having it. Then after she's had enough, then she doesn't care about it at all anymore. So, you know, even if I have something the very next meal, the same, or like any activity or something, maybe I'm already tired of it, you know? And so that's why I'm talking about, like, oh, this is an individual experience, and it's individualized not only in terms of the items that we consume, but the activities that we engage in. It varies along all these things, so that, oh, the things that I can have this level of deprivation, satiation type of process with might be very different for food than it is for activities, you know? And so that's what makes it a little bit more complicated, is because it's so individualized to the situation. Recap, the law of effect says, oh, we're more likely to do things when the consequences of those things are pleasurable to us. That we're likely to stop behaviors that produce unpleasant consequences. When the consequences of our actions change our behaviors and we learn through those consequences, it's called operant conditioning. Let's talk a little bit about classical conditioning, okay? Because classical conditioning is the other way that we learn through our environment, okay? So operant conditioning is learning through the consequences of our actions. Classical conditioning is about learning through the associations that we make with the events occurring around us. Say that time that we tried that new food and made us really, really sick, so that we were like throwing up and not feeling well. Well, the next time, maybe the smell of that particular food starts to make us feel sick again. Just seeing it might cause us to start feeling that way. Maybe the smell of it causes us to start feeling the same way. Sometimes the flavor of it, something to remind us of that flavor. It has a similar flavor, and then we get the same feeling. All of those feelings of being ill and not feeling well were associated with that particular food, and all of the characteristics of that food. Might be the smell, might be the taste, might be the look. for those of you that have been into car accidents, right? Immediately after you get into a car accident, the first time you drive again after that car accident, right? Your heart beats faster. You're a little bit more tense at the wheel. You're a lot more aware and you're a lot more scared, okay? Those are all things that we have associated with being in the vehicle as a byproduct of the accident. Operant and classical conditioning, remember, they're just descriptors of what's happening all around us at every moment of the everyday.